All right, guys, what's up? Okay, this I'll try to make this quick, but we'll go over the first round games today, and then go over some of the narratives for the Super Bowl. So let's start off. We'll start off with today's game between the Rams and the Panthers. Things that stand out: they can get to 6-4 on the road for the season. Um, they can get their 28th playoff win 28 days before Matt Stafford's birthday. And Stafford get his 126th win overall. And we know that number plays well with LA and Charlotte. Games in Charlotte, I guess Kobe was drafted by Charlotte. And, well, technically, he was traded before he was even drafted, but he died on 126. You get the idea. The thing that can go against the Rams is that Stafford can fall to 2-6 on the road in the playoffs. Panthers Eagles 101 the 26th prime. And Dave Canales can get his 14th win all time as a head coach, and Bryce Young get his 15th win. But the Rams are the favorite, so they should win. But I'll just say I'm picking the Rams for this game. Second game, Packers and Bears. The Packers are the favorite in this one, even though they're the underdog. If the Packers win, they'll improve to 10-7 on the year, and it is their 107th season. They're older than the NFL. Packers, the Eagles 28, 107 is the 28th prime, and again today is the 10th, as you see down to the bottom right corner of the screen, 1/10. It's the 10th day of the year, 10th day of the month. They get their 10th win of the season. Although a lot of numbers favor the Bears in this game. They can stay on 37 playoff losses all time. 37 playoffs wins, sorry. Although the Packers can get their 110th win all time against the Bears on 1/10. But if they lost, they'd fall to 55-55 all time against the Bears in Chicago. And Chicago Bears equals 55. Yeah, they could fall to, or Love could fall to 1-3 in the playoffs. Is he only 1-2 in the playoffs? Yeah, I guess so, because they played 2 games back in whatever year that was, 2 years ago, and then he played 1 game last year. Yeah, so he's only played 3 games in the playoffs. Yeah, LaFleur can get his 45th playoff loss, his 45th overall loss, but he can improve to 4-5 in the playoffs. So the 45 can play either way. Well, I guess there's 3 ways they could play. Either the Packers are falling to 4-5 on the road for the season, LaFleur is getting his 45th loss, or LaFleur is improving to 4-5 in the playoffs. On the Bears side, mostly favors the Bears, but they can get their 21st playoff loss on 21 date numerology. But they could get their 13th win, 13th ever home playoff win. Yeah, I already talked about the 55 thing with them. Their coach is his first year, so he has the same stats as the season. Caleb Williams getting his staying on 16 wins 53 days after his birthday. Yeah, even though there are more numbers for the Bears in this game, I am leaning Packers. Not only because they're the favorite, but because I think the Packers do have a narrative to go far in the playoffs. Or I think the Packers do have a narrative to at least meet the Seahawks in the second round. I'll talk about that later. Tomorrow, this game is a bit tricky too. On the surface, it looks like Bills could end the season with a 12-6 record and 5-4 on the road, and get their 23rd all-time playoff loss against the Jaguars. But the game is at Everbank Stadium. Josh Allen got his 96th career win. And the Super Bowl is on the 39th day of the year. Perhaps Josh Allen kicks off the playoffs by getting his 39th ever road win. And yeah, it is the 106th NFL season. McDermott could kick off the playoffs by getting his 106th all-time win. And yeah, Trevor Lawrence has that 10-6 birthday. So yeah, McDermott has a 106th win over the quarterback who has a 10-6 birthday. But there are more things with the Jags in this game, but it might be best to stay away from this one. 49ers, Eagles. Again, we got another Kobe ritual in this game because he's from Philadelphia. 49ers fall to 12-6 on the season. And the Eagles improving to 12-6 on the season. To me, that one makes the most sense. Shanahan getting his 71st loss overall. Although it's weird, I don't know why I posted that. Oh, yeah, so the 49ers one can kind of go either way. 49ers and 49ers. Well, actually, it plays against Hurts and Sirianni. But the number of the beast rituals line up well with Philadelphia teams. So I think the Eagles are a small favorite in this game. Let me just check. Hang on. Let's look up NFL lines. So what do they say here? So Packers are still a 1.5 point favorite. Jags are 1.5 point favorite. The Eagles line is increased up to 6. I don't know. So maybe 49ers to cover, but I still feel like if you just want to bet up a straight up winner, the Eagles are the better option in that case. Yeah, with the Jags being a 1.5 point favorite, there's kind of no advantage to betting Bills to cover. If you're going to bet the Bills, bet them on the money line. Okay, back to the notes here. Oops, hold on. Sorry, my bad. Okay, there we go. Back to the notes. Chargers, Patriots. Yeah, I mean the one that stands out here the most is there are some interesting narratives for the Chargers to win this game, but the one that stands out the most is the Patriots improving to 26-9 at home. Remember, 269 is shoot, I forgot what the significance of that number is. It's confusing 269 and 169. Oh, no, 269 is the 57th prime number. That's what it is. I don't know if there's a 57 with the Patriots or Chargers. But yeah, and Vrabel improving to 3-3 in the playoffs against the Chargers. 137 is also a big number with the Super Bowl this year. Not saying the Patriots or Chargers are going to make it, but yeah, I think the Patriots are the best bet in this game. And then lastly on Monday, the CJ Stroud getting his 31st win against Steelers 31, Houston 31. D'Amico Ryans improving to 3-2 in the playoffs. And Steelers finishing the season 10-8. And Tomlin. A lot of people are saying this might be Tomlin's last year, so he'll probably finish his career with 201 wins. Okay, so now moving on to the Super Bowl. So some potential there's always a college basketball game the day before or the day of that Kind of gives a hint as to what the Super Bowl will be. So I've kind of gone ahead and looked at what some of the matchups are. First one is USC Penn State. Obviously, USC is where Caleb Williams and Sam Darnold went, and it's in the same city where the Rams play. So that could mean Bears, Seahawks, or Rams against the Steelers, because the Steelers are in Pennsylvania. They're the AFC team in Pennsylvania. So that's one option. Denver plays North Dakota. Now, if you look at the North Dakota logo, whoops, what happened here? Hang on, what's going on? Oh, because I have to do that. Okay, alright, sorry, I was getting my tabs mixed up. Okay, I was going to show you we go down here, the Summit League. The Summit League, so look at that. Denver and North Dakota. So North Dakota's logo, I mean, it's green and it's a hawk. They're called the Fighting Hawks. I mean, it looks like the Eagles' old logo, to be honest. So, and there was a riddle last year. North Dakota played Kansas City the day before the Super Bowl. And of course, last year the Super Bowl was Chiefs and Eagles. So that's another potential riddle. Another one to look at. My favorite one is Utah State and Wyoming. That's Jordan Love's alma mater versus Josh Allen's alma mater. This is the day before the Super Bowl. So that one makes a lot of sense. I really like that one. Another one that we could look at. Let's go down to WCC. Santa Clara plays Washington State the day before. Of course, Washington State isn't in Seattle, but it's in the same state because on the other side of the state. But it's in the same state as the Seahawks, and Santa Clara is the Broncos. So maybe Broncos Seahawks. I know that's the 1 seed versus the 1 seed, so that'd be the favorite, but it's still there. Another one is, I should, no, actually, never mind, sorry. Okay, what's another potential matchup here? Oh, this one's interesting. Okay, we'll look at the Atlantic 10. St. Joe's plays George Mason. George Mason is the Patriots, as you see there at the bottom of the screen. Or maybe you can't. Maybe you can. George Mason's the Patriots. St. Joseph's is the Hawks. And St. Joe's is in Philadelphia. And so, I mean, the hawk is a bird, and it's the Philadelphia school. So that's maybe Patriots, Eagles. I mean, we'll see. What's another one that we've got? All right, let's go to the Big 12. Baylor, Iowa State. Iowa State's where Brock Purdy went, and Baylor's in Texas, so maybe Texans, 49ers. And what else was there? Let's go to the Big 10. That four, I have Washington, UCLA. So maybe Seahawks and Chargers, potentially. And the last one that I want to look at is in the ACC. We have Clemson versus Cal. The one Clemson quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. The one Cal quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. They're in the same conference, so they can't meet in the Super Bowl. But this could be like a Trevor Lawrence versus, what was I going to say? Oh, is it Cal? That's right. Cal's the Bears. That's right. The Golden Bears. So you could maybe Jaguars and Bears. Trevor Lawrence versus the Bears. We'll see. Remember that one year at Cooper Kupp School versus the Cooper Kupp School, Eastern Washington versus the Idaho State Bengals the day before. We'll see. But going back to this list here. So out of these all these matchups, my favorite ones are probably these two. in terms of a potential foreshadowing. I'm gonna italicize this one because I kind of like that one, but the two in bold are probably my favorite. I'll italicize this one as well because I kind of like it, but all right, some other potential narratives. So this is the first Super Bowl to be played on the 39th day of the year. We know that Seattle used to be called New York. Buffalo NY also equals 39. And so if we just go back to Gematria here. Hang on a second. All right, so New York, 33 and 39. The Seahawks played in Super Bowl 48. That was on the 33rd day of the year. That was also the first Super Bowl to be played on the 33rd day of the year. And that was in the New York region. It's where the two New York teams play. And that was the first Super Bowl to be played on the 39th day of the year. Yeah, if we just look up Seattle used to, yeah, I've already searched it. Early settlers of Seattle briefly called their settlement New York. Right, there we go. Okay, so that's that. Another thing we want to look at is the satanic connection. So we know that the Church of Satan was founded in San Francisco. The game's in Santa Clara, which isn't San Francisco, but the San Francisco 49ers play there. Satanic is 67, right? Satanic 67 and 122. I want to look at Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers' birthday is December 2nd, which is 12/2. And yeah, satanic equals 122, as I already said. Do I have San Francisco up on here? I did not. But satanic 122, San Francisco 122. Right there. All right. What else do we have to look at here? This is interesting. So obviously satanic equals 67. Didn't we just had a guy that died at 67 the other day? A former running back? I'm going to pull that up because I know Zach did an article on it. This guy, Randy McMillan, dead at 67. Who did he play for? Played for the Colts. His career ended at 28. Packers equals 28, and it's their 107th season, 107 to 28th prime. They played for the Colts. The Colts played in Indianapolis, which equals 201. But yeah, it's got me thinking, are we going to have a 6 versus 7 Super Bowl? 6 seed versus 7 seed. If we do have a 6 seed versus the 7 seed, that would either be Chargers versus Packers it would either be Bills versus Packers or 49ers versus Chargers. 49ers versus Chargers would be interesting because that would be Jim Harbaugh coaching against his former team at the 49ers stadium. Packers-Bills makes a lot of sense. And I'll talk more about that later. Let me make sure I'm showing the right thing. Another thing we want to look at. Church of Satan. Church of Satan equals 137 and 214. And what else equals 137 214? Santa Clara, California, where the Super Bowl is going to be played, also equals 137, as you see there. The Packers' record right now is 9-7. So if the Packers win 4 games to win the Super Bowl, they'll get to 13-7. Let's see there, Santa Clara. What was it? Yeah, Church of Satan. And I think does Levi's Stadium also equal 137? No, it doesn't. Okay. We'll talk. Okay. Couple other things here that are interesting. O.J. Simpson. We know he's in the news a lot for not the right reasons, but that's another topic for another time. O.J. Simpson's birthday is his birthday is July 9th. He died on April 10th. So let's measure from his birthday to the Super Bowl. Was it July 9th? Yeah, so from the Super Bowl to what would be his birthday is 21 weeks and 4 days. Again, Church of Satan 214. And it would be his 79th birthday. Like how Satanic Church equals 79. Just to show you, he was born in 47, so if he was still alive, this upcoming July would be his 79th birthday. Now from his previous birthday is 214 days. Like, what are the odds of that? I talked about I did a video, what was it, last month? I mentioned that he's kind of connected because the Bills last played the Super Bowl 32 years ago, and this game is in Santa Clara, where the Santa Clara University logo is literally the Jesuit logo, which has 32 sun rays, and they're called the Broncos, which equals 32. Come on, man. But speaking of Bills running backs, I need to... Yes, okay. Speaking of Bills running backs, we have to look at Marshawn Lynch, who's from the Bay Area, and he played for the Bills. So his birthday is on April 22nd. So from the date of the Super Bowl until his birthday is 2 months and 14 days. So you have this theme around former Bills running backs from the Bay Area, with the Super Bowl being 2 months and 14 days before Marshawn Lynch's birthday, and then 21 weeks and 4 days before OJ's birthday, and 214 days after OJ's last birthday. Like, what are the odds of that? And I already said it's Church of Satan 214. And 214 is the 70th semi-prime, and Church of Satan equals 214 and 70, which is kind of interesting just to show you here. 214, if we scroll down, where is it? 214, the 70th semi-prime. There you go. So that's just very interesting. And yeah, Marshawn Lynch does equal 60. Do I have that on here? I don't, but yeah, Marshawn Lynch equals 60, and this is Super Bowl 60. So yeah, this Super Bowl is definitely connected to him and O.J. Simpson, in no doubt. No doubt. Okay, now if you're listening to one of Zach's live streams last week, or actually it was technically this week, I called in to talk about the death of Don Hasselbeck, who's Matt Hasselbeck's dad. And look at him. Don Hasselbeck went to a Catholic high school. Then he went to Colorado. And he gave birth... Well, I shouldn't say he gave birth, but his son Matt was born while he was still in college. So he's that kind of guy, there's nothing wrong with that. There's totally nothing wrong with that, but it's just interesting. Yeah, he's the dad of Matt Hasselbeck. Anyways, look when he died on April 14th at age 70. We were just talking about 70 with, where was it? With Church of Satan 70. But he died on April 14th, which is the 14th of April. Jesuit Order 144. And I want you to look at how many days it was before the Super Bowl. It's a span of 301 days, right? A span of 301 days. That is 43 weeks. And Seattle Seahawks, you see right here, Seattle Seahawks 43. Obviously his son, Matt, where's Matt? His son, Matt, played for the Seahawks, as it says right there. And Matt's birthday is September 25th. From Matt's birthday until the day that his dad died was 201 days later. Oh, look at that. Where do we know that number from? The Jesuit Order 201. So yeah, this death was no accident. Dead on 14/4, 201 days after his son's birthday. And yeah, his son Went to Severian Brothers, Catholic High School, Boston College, Jesuit University, and then played for the Seahawks, Jesuit City, finished his career with Indianapolis, another Jesuit city. Again, as we talked about earlier, Indianapolis 201, that's where he finished his career. It also equals 60, like this year's Super Bowl, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, Matt Hasselbeck. But also, yes, his birthday is 25/9, and I think he died. Was it maybe a span of? Oh no, sorry, my bad. I misread it. Okay, never mind. I thought, but is this it's the day leaving 97 days left in the year? The Mariners have the 97 connection. That's what it is, but not the Seahawks. Hold on, I wanted to see what was O.J. Simpson's death date? It was April 10th, 2024. How many days from when from the Super Bowl to the anniversary of his death? Let's just do from there until 2/8. 304 days. What about until 61 days? Maybe there's something there that I'm not sure about. How many days? Hold on. From when he died to... Actually, we should look at that. 669 days. I don't know what the significance of that number is. But I wanted to look at what it was from his 126, 276. There's probably something there that I just don't know about. Okay. Back to... Alright, so as what's been discussed earlier, if you just look at 2025 and 2025, yeah, oh, I already came up with that. But yeah, it's the 106th NFL season. 106, as I've talked about earlier many times, 106 is the 35th semi-prime, as you see right there. 106, 35th semi-prime. Catholic 35, okay? And why is that important? So what I wanted to talk about, so Levi's Stadium, right? Levi's Stadium, 154. Let's look at Broncos record in 2015. So when the Broncos won the Super Bowl at Levi's Stadium in 2015, they went 15-4 in the season. Again, Levi's Stadium 154. And let's look at Broncos Super Bowl record. The Broncos are 3-5 all time in Super Bowls. So it's not surprising that they went 15-4 in Levi's Stadium and got to 3-5 in Super Bowls when Catholic is 35. Yeah, so that's not surprising. And that game was on 2/7, or sorry, 7/2. It was the 7th of Jesuit Order 72. It was the 7th of February. Oh, but also, yeah, that Super Bowl, if we go back to, let's just go back to Super Bowl 50. Yeah, so there were 34 total points. What year were the Jesuits founded in? The Jesuits were founded in 1534. 1534. 34 total points. And they become 3-5 in Super Bowls. Remember, Jesus is also 34, as you see right there. And, oh yeah, the other thing, this was on, where is it? Yeah, so Santa Clara is also 27. That game was on 2/7. And if you write out Jesuits, it's 103, which is the 27th prime number. 27th prime. What else was there? Oh, is Broncos also equal 103? Yeah, Broncos also equals 103. Broncos is 103, and if we just, it's a nice little match here between Broncos and Jesuits. Jesuits and Broncos, 103.86. 103.86. And yeah, Santa Clara Broncos. Santa Clara Broncos equals 112. I just like Catholicism, and the Jesuits claim to operate in 112 countries. It also equals 49, like this is the home of the 49ers. 49 is 7 times 7, which is another. And yeah, well, if you just write out Catholic, it's 145, and 145 is the 49th semi-prime. Yeah, I did a live stream back in September talking about how the 49ers have a huge Jesuit and Catholic, mostly Catholic, but Jesuit history. Okay, so based on all of this, my favorite matchup for the Super Bowl would be Packers versus Bills. All right, Packers record versus Bills. As you see right now, they're 5-9 against them. If they win, they would get to 6-9. Green Bay Packers 69. And yeah, we have to look at Josh Allen playoff record. He would get to 10-6 if he won his first 3 games, and if he falls in the Super Bowl, he would lose to become 10-7. And the Bills are 0-4 in the Super Bowl. Remember, the satanic logo is a 5-pointed star. Satan is 55. Also, if you write out 5, it's 66, like number of the beast. Okay. Yeah, if we look at let's go here, let's do NFL scores. Because you see right now, the Packers are 9-7. So if they won 4, they would get to 13-7. And where was our 137? So yeah, Santa Clara, California, 137. There was one more 137. What was it? Oh, Church of Satan's 137. Yeah. So if the Packers won 4 in a row, they'd get to 13-7. And the Bills record is 12-5, I think. Let me just confirm that. The Bills are 12-5. So if the Bills won 3, they'd be 15-5, and then if they lost, they'd be 15-6. Obviously, 156 is a 9/11 number, but it's Buffalo. Shoot. Buffalo, New York has the number of the beast numbers, but Buffalo, maybe it's just Buffalo Bills. Shoot. I can't remember. Oh, maybe it's the hockey team. Oh yeah, the hockey team, Buffalo Sabres, is 127. That's what it is. So 156 and 127. Cool. But it is the 39th day of the year, and yeah, if they fall to 15-6 on the 39th day of the year, that is a 9/11 ritual in its own way. Even though the game isn't in New York, but it's a New York team. And again, the first Super Bowl that was held on the 33rd day of the year was held in New York. New York is, as I said earlier, 39 is big with New York. So it would be fitting if a New York team made this first Super Bowl to be played on the 39th day of the year. My next favorite matchup, Seahawks and Bills. As I talked about the death of Don Hasselbeck, Matt Hasselbeck's dad. The Seahawks. Should look at Seahawks record versus Bills. But I talked about earlier how the Seahawks have a great ritual to get to the Super Bowl because of their connection with the 39th day of the year, and also their Jesuit connection as well. There's also that Pope connection, and that said, like, what, every time a Pope gets elected, the Seahawks go to the Super Bowl or something like that. The Seahawks are 8-7 against the Bills all time. So if they won, they became 9-7. Remember, Matt Hasselbeck was born on the day leaving 97 days left in the year, I believe. Let me just confirm that. September 25th. Matt Hasselbeck, born on the day leaving. Yeah, he was born on the day leaving 97. 7 days left in the year. How many days before his birthday is it? That's a good question. 2/8 of this year, and it's from, let's do it from 9/25 of last year. 136. It's interesting. It is 137 days. Span of 137 days after his birthday. That's interesting. How many days until his next birthday? 229. That's the 50th prime number. We know San Francisco is 50, wherever that is. San Francisco 50. The Jesuits 50. Yeah, that's interesting. Next one that I want to talk about, Packers and Broncos. So earlier this year, on December 14th, the Packers and Broncos played. There were 60 combined points. The Broncos won with 34 points. We've talked about that a lot. And from the date of that game until the Super Bowl is 56 days later. Again, this is Super Bowl 60, the 56th of the modern era. And 56 days beforehand, the Packers and Broncos played a game where there were 60 combined points. So that's very interesting. Bo Nix, 302 passing yards, 3-2, 32 yards on the Jesuit logo. Okay. Yeah, and if it was another one that I want to talk about is Seahawks Broncos. Well, I guess that's something I didn't consider. In this game, the Denver North Dakota game, I'll say Broncos versus Eagles / Seahawks, because they North Dakota, they're the Fighting Hawks. And yeah, same thing as St. Joe's Hawks. They're the Seahawks or Eagles versus Patriots. Yeah, that Denver North Dakota game will be very interesting. Yeah, but Seahawks Broncos would be a tribute to Super Bowl 48 because, as I said earlier, that was the first Super Bowl to be played on the 48th day of the year. Or sorry, the 33rd day of the year. And that was the first Super Bowl to play on the 39th day of the year, and Seattle has the New York connections. Okay, what else am I missing here? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I guess what I could do, let's look at a bracket here. Hold on, we're going to do something here. What if I just did that? we're gonna do. I was gonna make a little bracket here to get a general idea of what I think the Super Bowl could be. Why does it do that? Oh, I know. Okay, because I have to close this. Okay. Let's just do that. So I think what we're likely going to see is, so I'd say your likely winners, let's do highlight instead. Your likely winners for round one: Green Bay, Eagles, Rams. On this side, Texans, Bills, Patriots. So that means home teams would go 4-2. Yeah, home teams would go 4-2. And then in the second round, so I think, yeah, Broncos Bills matchup in the second round with all the Broncos symbolism with OJ makes a lot of sense. And also Seahawks Packers matchup in the second round makes a lot of sense too. Because of the Matt Hasselbeck connections, because he started his career with Green Bay. Yeah, so I think the winners of these games here are going to meet in the Super Bowl. That's what I think. Because I think your AFC representative is most likely Broncos or Bills, and your NFC representative is most likely Seahawks or Packers. But that's just what I think. Other people probably have other opinions. We'll see what happens, and we'll catch you guys later.